So what's going on, guys? How are ya? And today we'll be talking about a movie. Today, as you see my shirt right here, we'll be talking about the movie Logan. As you guys probably already know, I'm a huge comic book fan. I love watching superhero movies. I love watching comic book movies. I love reading comic books. I just love these characters. So Wolverine being one of my favorite characters, Logan being Hugh Jackman's last X-Men film, or played as the Wolverine character, I was really excited to see how this ends off. So Logan is directed by James Mangold and stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and DeFay Lean. If I said her name wrong, I'm sorry. But it starts in the year of 2029. And the mutants are kind of side off. No one really cares about the mutants anymore, and they're not really talked about as they were in the past years. And now Logan is a taxi driver, as he has limo, and he takes people from point A to point B, as that's his job. As he has a hideout that has Galaban and Professor X, Logan wants to create something, so he goes out and rides into the sunset. That's really what Logan wants. But then Logan runs into this Hispanic lady that has a daughter named Laura, and she wants Wolverine to help Laura, and that's how the movie kicks off. I'm not going to really talk a lot about the plot because I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't want to spoil anything in this movie for anyone because you got to go into this movie knowing a little about it. So I'm not going to come here and just throw the plot at you and then you're like, oh, I got spoiled. So I don't want to do that. So let's talk about how this movie is, how it goes. So this movie at no point drags, stalls, or whatever. It keeps you interested in Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. It doesn't stop, it doesn't stall, it keeps on going, and it goes through, and it's fantastic. The performances in this movie with Hugh Jackman are fantastic. Patrick Stewart kills it. And with the villain, Pierce, I have no idea what his name is. I'm not going to try it because you know I can't do no names. But as a villain in the Marvel world, I think he did a good job. As he kind of has an army in the background, I kind of felt like the army was the villain rather than him solely. Because I watch a lot of Marvel movies that have one villain and he was kind of like, eh. So when you talk about kind of the negatives, the villain is kind of a little negative in this movie, but since he has a huge army that is kind of the villain, you can't really say, oh, yep, the villain sucks. So it's whatever. As this is the last film Wolverine is in, I think it's the best send off to his character I've ever seen in any movie, because I'm not going to spoil anything. It's just, number one, it's an emotional ride. Number two, it's a great action-packed ride. It's a serious ride, and it's straightforward. There is a lot of life lessons in this movie. They're talking about mutants in an X-Men world, but there's so much life lessons that are in this film, and it's just so interesting and so good to watch. I think James Mangold put Hugh Jackman in the correct place to end off his 17-year run as his character Wolverine perfectly. Now, James Mangold did direct the Wolverine movie, which I have my exceptions and declines about that film, but I think all the stuff that they did wrong in the Wolverine film, they corrected in Logan. And that, I appreciate that, because I think Logan is the movie that needs to end off Hugh Jackman's career as Wolverine. Let's talk about the action in this film. Now, the action in this film does one thing. It's superb. It's fantastic. Now, you watch a lot of superhero movies and you're like, wow, that action is good. But this action is placed at the correct time. It is very good. It's really well done editing. And it's just has so much emotion jam-packed into each action scene. I was doing this to my hand. I was literally crunching my hand every action scene. And I have never, in certain films I've done that. And this is the one film that I've done that. The dialogue in this movie, the way that everything, it's just so dark, serious, and you care for every person in this movie. You really, 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 really get invested into this movie. There's not one scene where you can say, they could have cut that off. No, every scene is in this film for a reason, and it's just absolutely superb. I think Logan is not only a great comic book movie, it's a great movie, period. I would prefer watching this over a lot of other films. This is Hugh Jackman's best performance as Wolverine and Logan, and it's his best performance, in my opinion, in any movie he's in, and this is the best X-Men movie, and it is the best Marvel movie I have ever seen. If you want to come complain to me, come and complain to me, because this movie is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I have no problem with this movie, because not only, here's why. I watched Logan. I'm going to remember Logan more than a lot of other movies I've watched. I leave theaters and say, that was good, but am I going to remember it? Not really. I left Logan, I'm going to remember that movie for my entire life. Logan is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and you're damn right I'm going to give it an A+. Now, if you guys like Wolverine, you like comic book movies, you have to see this movie. You can't skip this movie. This movie is fantastic. It's more than great. It does everything you want in a comic book movie, and it's just a heck of a lot of fun. If you want a movie that is number one, serious, number two, knows what it is, and number three, just has a ton of fun and great storytelling, this is a movie you have to see. So, if you want a movie to see, go see Logan. This movie's great. See it. I love it. A+, fantastic. And again, I'm sorry that I have lacked on videos. I'm really trying to make my videos as best as I possibly can, and I have a lot of other things to do. So I'm sorry. Hopefully I can get this stuff back up. But if you like this, please click that like button. I do really, really appreciate it. And if you like this and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. That way I can see you guys next time.